Welcome, family. Today is February 1st, 2025, and my name is Christine Dragosalovich, and I hope you all find this video well, and I hope you had a wonderful week. Starting the new month, our topic and our message this week will be New Mercies for a New Month. This reminds us of the fresh start that God graciously provides each day. In each season of our lives. As we step into a new month, we can leave behind the burdens of yesterday and embrace the unfailing love and compassion of God, which never runs out. This truth encourages us to trust in God's faithfulness, renew our hope, and walk forward with confidence, knowing His grace is sufficient for whatever lies ahead. And it most certainly is. I know at the beginning of this week, I was in prayer and there are different facets in my life at this time that I'm struggling with. And there are seasons where we struggle with many facets, a few facets, and sometimes the Lord will give us a break and not deal with any of the facets of our life, which is, I welcome that all the time. But anyway, as I was in prayer and I was struggling with a few facets in my own life, sometimes we think God is punishing us, but He is not punishing us. He is refining us and shaping and molding us to be who He needs us to be. So I cried out to the Lord, basically, what do you need me to do in this situation and circumstance? And sometimes we just need that the new mercies of new beginnings. You're feeling stagnant and looping in that struggle that you're going through. And the Lord is so gracious. He says to me, sometimes you need to be kept in those struggles because not only are you being refined, but the people around you are being refined as well. And I am using you as that light for them to see. How beautiful is that? That we get to be chosen to do those things, even through our own trials. Not only are we refined, the people around us are refined. And God how could I not put a smile on my face knowing what an honor and a privilege that is to be able to do that? But we also need endurance and perseverance to go through it. And He will grant that to you because you are doing your part. So I wanted to share that with you because it so coincides with new beginnings and the new month now and, a new, fresh perspective. That's just a beautiful thing. A new month is a perspective of a fresh start. It is an opportunity to reflect on God's blessings and renew our commitment and realign our hearts with His purpose. God, does that so go with this? Just as every sunrise signals a new day, every month reminds us of God's ongoing faithfulness. Let us look at Lamentations 3. It is a testimony of hope in the midst of despair. Jeremiah proclaims that no matter the trials, God's mercies are unfailing with each morning. God's unfailing love, God's mercies being new each day signifies His unfailing love for us. No matter what mistakes we made yesterday, His love is constant and never ending. Each day we have the opportunity to experience His love and receive His forgiveness. But we also have to forgive ourselves as well. A clean slate. When God's mercies are new each day, it means that we start each day with a clean slate. And boy, let me tell you, I am so grateful for that clean slate. Regardless of our past failures or shortcomings, God gives us a fresh start each morning. We don't have to carry the burdens of guilt and shame from yesterday, because his mercies are there to wash us clean. Fresh opportunities. God's mercies being new each day also means that we have fresh opportunities to grow, change, and make a difference each day. And it holds new possibilities and challenges, and God's mercies equip us to face them with strength and courage. Daily renewal. Just as our bodies need sleep and rest to rejuvenate, our spirits need the renewing power of God's mercies. Each day we have the chance to start anew, to seek God's guidance, and to be transformed by his love. The power of gratitude. Oh, that is extremely powerful. Recognizing and appreciating God's mercies each day can transform our attitudes and outlooks on life. When we develop a habit of gratitude, we become more aware of his goodness and his blessings in our life. The unfailing love of God. Jeremiah reminds us that God's love is unchanging and enduring, even in life's darkest moments. His love is steadfast, meaning it is loyal, faithful, and dependable. Like the steady rhythm of the ocean waves, the ocean is a powerful representation of the strength and authority of God. It is used in the Bible to showcase how almighty and all-knowing our Creator is. The vastness, depth, and seemingly endless expanse of the sea are all qualities that mirror God's power and love that continues to flow no matter the storms in our lives. God's mercies are new each morning. Mercy is God's compassion towards us. Each day brings fresh opportunities and forgiveness, grace and strength from God. Let's think of a chalkboard wiped clean at the start of each new day. No matter how messy it was, God starts fresh with us each morning. Don't let yesterday's failures define today. God's mercy resets the story each day. Start each day with gratitude and an opportunity to make a better day than yesterday. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about starting each day fresh. There was a period of time, and I'm going to go back. Actually, this is going back to 2010. That's how far back I'm going to go. I was a few years into my journey, moving along, and I know that I would say, stumbling, and I kind of was not being obedient to God. He would bring forth messages that I needed to share or ask me to do certain things. And these are the tests, by the way. He's going to test you. He's going to see, are you walking the walk with me? Or are you just asking and not doing? There's a difference. We have a part to play in all of this as well. And God needs us. He needs us just as we need him. That's why we all need each other. So back in 2010, so I kind of was not being obedient. Each day would come. God would download some message to me, and I would not follow through. And I didn't even procrastinate, because it never happened. I never followed through with whatever was being asked of me or requested. And I finally got to the point where I'm going to clean the slate now. I'm starting fresh. I'm making an honest and a good step forward to being obedient to what you're asking me to do. I'm not going to question it, because we get in our own way and we get in our own heads of how things should be, or what is somebody going to say, or this doesn't seem right. It's not going to seem right. Remember, his ways are not our ways. And boy, as I go through this journey all these years, I am getting it big time. And it takes a lot of time because our egos, ourself, we have to get out of the way in order to make a way, in order for God to make a way. We have to get out of our own way first. So, started a clean slate. Like, okay, starting fresh. Okay, well, then God says, you know what? And I'm not going to mention the governor's name. The Lord said, you're going to write this governor a letter and you're going to mail it to this governor. I'm thinking to myself, oh boy, what did I just get myself into over here? Yes, the Lord have mercy is right, is what I was thinking. I'm like, okay. So I had somewhat of an idea of what needed to be written. I didn't have all the words that I needed to write. So one morning, I got up very early in the morning before the rest of the family was getting up. And I sat at the dining room table, took a couple pieces of loose leaf paper from my daughter's folder, and I proceeded to write this letter to the governor. And honestly, you want to talk about the Holy Spirit coming in and downloading every last word. I can't even repeat all of it because it was just my hands just went. The words just came. By the time I was done, it was a 2.5-page loose leaf letter. And somewhat of what I remember writing was my concerns for where this country is going, but also where our world is going. And my concern for my children, for future generations, on everything. It just was such a heavy burden on my heart for what I was seeing and where we were going. And so I finished the letter and I prayed over it and I put it in the mailbox. I was not expecting anything back, but I did get a response back. And it was absolutely beautiful, thanking me for my concerns because those are the same concerns that this particular governor had. Her and her family were feeling the same way. It was absolutely such a beautiful response back to me. But that's what happens when you let it go and you listen, clean the slate, and let him guide you. He doesn't guide you for any other reason. I don't know. Maybe things transpired behind the scenes there. But all I know is that I was obedient to what? Maybe that was an additional voice that needed to be heard about the concerns that I had. But the confirmation came saying those were the same concerns that they were working on as well. So I wanted to share that with you to let you know that, yes, you will be put in certain circumstances and situations where it's not going to make sense. And it will be completely uncomfortable. Absolutely. It's okay. If that's what God guides you to do, you do it without a question in your heart and mind. So we're going to continue on with God's faithfulness in every season. Yes. That means he keeps his promises no matter the situation at hand. Even in seasons of waiting or difficulty, God is working for our good. It's like a gardener planting seeds in the winter. God's faithfulness ensures the growth will come, even when we can't see it yet. That goes for all the facets in our lives that we can't see. Do you realize the beautiful life we all have? Honest to goodness, if we could only see what's ahead, and just know that's where we're striving towards, it's amazing. Don't ever quit or stop. You can question, but get that right out of your way. Question and let it go. Move forward. Persevere. We're going to trust God in every season, knowing He is always present and always good. Embrace God's timing. It is always perfect. It's never late. It's never early. It's His time. The timing is always right. Trust that God's timing is perfect, even when it doesn't align with our desires. Just as Abraham and Sarah had to wait for the fulfillment of God's promises, we too must trust in his faithfulness and perfect timing. Find comfort in God's presence in every season. Remember that God is with you. David beautifully expressed this in Psalms 23:4. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod, your staff, they comfort me. Trust in God's character. Know that God is unchanging, faithful, and good. His promises are sure, and his faithfulness endures forever. We also need to let go of the past. God calls us to release the burdens of our past mistakes, regrets, and disappointments, and focus on the new things he is doing. Holding on to the past can hinder us from experiencing the fullness of God's mercies today. Don't think I haven't done that, but I am definitely in a different place right now where that's much easier for me to do at this point. That takes time, and that's part of the process. Imagine trying to walk forward while looking back, right? It slows you down and it prevents you from seeing what lies ahead. Trust God's ability to redeem and restore. We also live in God's mercies daily. Give us this day our daily bread. Matthew 6:11. God provides for us daily, not just physically, but spiritually. He gives strength for today and hope for tomorrow. Living in God's mercy means depending on him for every aspect of our lives. Just as manna in the wilderness was given daily, God's mercies are fresh and sufficient each day. Sharing God's mercy with others. God's mercy is not just for us to receive, but it is there for us to share. It's when we extend forgiveness, compassion, and love for others, we reflect God's character. A mirror reflects light. It doesn't create it. In the same way, we are called to reflect God's mercy to those around us. Acts of mercy, which is kindness, forgiveness, generosity, can transform relationships and communities. As we step into the new month, we embrace the truth that God's mercies are new each morning. This reminds us that each day and each month is an opportunity to begin afresh, abandoned by the past and filled with the renewed strength to face the future. Let this new month be a release of old disappointments, embrace hope, and walk forward in confidence, knowing that his provision, guidance, and peace will carry us through. In gratitude for his mercies, we extend grace to ourselves and others, reflecting his love in all we do. And with so much love, I hope you all have a beautiful, blessed week for this new month as we begin. And until next week, bye for now.